we've been doing some joking around today, but we really do have to get out of here. There are dangerous things coming this way, and we should not be here today. And the bans are coming, and the flooding is coming, and we will be getting out of here. Some of you might be disappointed that you will not be getting the full range of show today because we're going to have a mystery crate segment, or we're going to have South Beach session, something that we have to do to replace an hour because we do really have to get out of here. I thought the Hurley conversation was super interesting, Stugotz, and sort of takes you inside of what was really happening with a human being inside of there, which is you got to go listen to the Lakers. You got to go. You have to. You have to go listen to them, but it doesn't mean that you're not going there sort of kicking and screaming, even though people can't imagine $70 million. But he also told you there was a number. And so the Lakers, what can be said here is whatever it is the Lakers were offering the free agent, they didn't have enough. They weren't offering enough to actually get him.
I can't imagine the Lakers not having enough money. They didn't offer enough money for whatever reason, you know?
Okay, I'm not, again, I've said it's a mom and pop business. I don't know how much money they do actually have. I don't know their finances. I know that the Buss family has made a mess of some of that stuff infighting over their father's fortune. And if you read anything about the Lakers, you will see a really messy financial situation and 12 years where they've only been more than a 7 seed one time in the last 12 years. So they're in a desperate spot to keep the post-Kobe, post-LeBron thing alive, but they didn't have enough to get the coach who just told you there was a number.
And that guy already has a lot. He makes a lot of money. He's at UConn. He's at a place where he's comfortable, where his family wants to be, where they love to be. And you have to factor all of that into the equation, Dan. He's won back-to-back national championships at a time where you have Nick Saban sprinting away from college sports and other coaches going elsewhere. This guy has figured it out. He's great. He's the best in the game right now. And perhaps he was thinking, hey, I'm the king of UConn, of Storrs, Connecticut. Everyone bows to me. You go to the NBA, and that changes in a heartbeat. And suddenly, you're not the guy in control. It's LeBron James who's in control.
Jessica, Lucy, what did you guys think was most interesting about what it is that Dan Hurley just had to say there?
I don't like the girly Billy Joel songs either.
That part was so awkward.
He didn't know what to do.
He got caught up in the air, a little too comfortable.
What did he mean? But by the way, I'm not a Billy Joel guy.
Vienna.
Jeremy, do you have any idea?
I think he was saying I like the girly songs, but then he was like, I don't want to say girly, more feminine. Like he likes the girly songs.
He meant Vienna.
Where'd you come from?
100%.
Yeah.
I've been here all day, Dan. I've just been sitting and waiting for you to mention the fact that I was on this Zoom as well.
Yeah.
You couldn't get in here today either? You couldn't get in it? What happened? Flooding got you too?
Yeah, flooding. It's a nightmare here. I was worried about being able to get back to the Fort Lauderdale area after the bands that are playing behind your head in the studio come through and make it inevitably flooded. So after driving through all of it yesterday when we were on our search for Panthers fans, I decided today would be a day to stay home.
Okay, so I do before we do get out of here in a panic, I did want to talk to Chris and Roy about some I did want to talk some Panther hockey before we got out of here. But
biggest game in Panthers history?
Yeah, but I want Lucy and Jessica to give me reaction to Dan Hurley hasn't spoken before that, and he said some things that I was surprised by, and I'm just wondering how you guys experienced that, Lucy.
Well, I wish we would have talked to him about all the Batman stuff he had in the background. I couldn't stop looking at it. His hat was so cool. It was interesting to hear his perspective, especially as like a big college sports fan. It's nice to kind of see the big names stay in college sports, but I kind of wish we would have asked him some more fun stuff. He's got a great personality.
Yeah, so I screwed up is the bottom
Well,
line.
I didn't say that. I implied it.
No, you said it. If you're saying I wish we would have asked him some more fun stuff, you're saying it wasn't fun enough.
I didn't say it wasn't fun. I said I just wish you would have asked more.
Can we call him back? Can we find out about that? Can we find out about the Batman information? The Batman.
Oh my God, his hat was so cool.
Yeah, very cool.
By the way, I should have said this to him. I don't I'm just going to be a coward, but This last week has been awesome for him. Like, come on. Like, he's been acting like what a struggle the last week has been for him.
I did.
I
8
forced
minutes after he's gone.
I forced him into that position. I was like, he did say it was gut wrenching. You don't believe it was gut wrenching?
I believe that the decision was hard, but it's all good decisions. It's like, wow, this freaking awesome thing over here, or I get double the salary at UConn. Like, these are great problems to have.
Listen, he turned down $70 million. That's a great problem to have. Seriously.
Okay, but once you
that has to feel good on its own.
This is absolutely true, but I'm always interested in how and where it is you guys disconnect from these people being human beings when the money is involved. Chris Cody, if you right now had some sort of great offer to work in New York for Stephen A. Smith for more money, and now you have to leave your grandfather and you have to go and leave all the things you've known in your life, but it's a little more money or it's a great gig, you don't think you'd struggle with that? And
No,
your family doesn't, and your family doesn't want to leave.
You just made it real for me, and I would. I'm already sweating thinking about my wife. Like, she's not going to want to take her. My daughter has friends at school.
Right.
I get it now.
Dan has a way of doing that, right?
But the money, I understand why it is people think that the millionaires aren't human beings, but if your wife doesn't want to leave, he called her violently emotional and then had to walk that back.
No, I'm just saying it must be a good feeling where you have such a good job and you love your job so much that you turn down a $70 million offer. That has to feel good. That's crazy.
Dan, you're literally describing the exact situation I was in. I had a great life in LA. I had so many friends, people who loved me. And then I moved to Miami. And guess what? I can't walk outside because I'm going to drown.
What's happening outside your house right now? Did you get a lot of, outside your apartment, did you get a lot of wind and bad weather last
like
night
a beautiful day.
that leaked into your apartment? Because it looks pretty great right now. You look like you live in paradise right now.
It's so expensive. It's not paradise. It's cost me everything, literally everything. Yesterday when I was driving, I did like the most illegal thing I maybe have ever done when I was driving. There was like, they dropped like the guards for the railroad track because it was raining so bad, and they were like, they didn't want people to drive. And that's the only way I could get to my apartment. So I had to drive through those.
Wow, the Panthers
You're
also
a
had
real
to do it.
Miamian. You're a real Miamian. You crossed the train tracks when you weren't supposed to.
I did not like the feeling of it. Also, I have to say, I'm a little angry with my dad right now because I texted him yesterday. I said, oh my God, the roads are so bad. I've never seen flooding like this in my life. And he doesn't respond, Lucy, are you okay? How are you doing? He responds, man, this is going to be really bad for insurance. That's not the priority right now.
Well, the Panthers
I am the priority.
All right, let's stop.
I want to hear the rest of this transition.
Let's stop for just a second, okay? Because I do want to show people behind the curtain here. There is no one in the history of our show, and he leads by leaps and bounds over everyone else, who is more careful about not talking when others are talking than Roy. He schleps in here today. He hasn't said anything all show because there's a lot of fire coming from every direction. Amin did God knows what when he was here, and Roy has tried to speak twice during this segment, and the reason people can't do the show on remote is because they just trampled Roy twice.
And what Roy is trying to talk about is something he cares about more than anyone on this show or just about anything in his life.
It's too bad today's show was canceled, that there was no show today to talk about all of the amazing things that happened in sports yesterday and are happening this week.
See, there you go.
Let the man speak.
God damn it, man. Come on. The transition was going to be the Panthers are dealing with the same thing. They barely made it out of Fort Lauderdale yesterday when they tried to fly to Edmonton.
I honestly think this could have an effect on this series because they were delayed. They didn't leave till yesterday. I don't know how I feel about that decision. They could have left early on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like after the game. But I guess Maurice wanted to let them sleep in after the game night. This is an interesting call because they got delayed yesterday. They didn't get in until like 9 last night with the time change. Like you could see a sluggish Panthers team tonight, and the travel could be the reason for it.
Clearly, they delayed this flight because of the ball carve injury. I mean, it seems pretty clear to me.
Why?
Because he might have a concussion, he might have a broken
But he
jaw
practiced,
at the
right?
time. But he did practice
And
yesterday.
he's playing, I think, right?
Yeah, yes, I believe he's going to end up playing because he's wearing his normal jersey during practice. He seems like a game time decision according to Paul Maurice yesterday.
But Maurice said that they have like, a whole team of people that do the math on, like going into different time zones, how much sleep you need. Like there's a whole, I hate people that are just like, I know it all. Know-it-alls when it comes to
But
like
the math on what?
how to
Barkov's your
beat-
best player. Play him if he's available.
I don't like
Who
people that are
cares?
know-it-alls with how to beat time changes. It's
Right.
like, oh, you got to eat right before the flight. Like, shut up, all right? I have my own.
It's actually
recipe.
don't eat before the flight, and then when you land,
There
actually
you go.
start working out to get your body back in rhythm, circadian rhythms and whatnot.
There you go. That's what I
Circadian.
hate.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
hate.
He's right about that
Circadian
circadian
rhythm.
thing.
He's
Yeah.
right.
Whatever that means. Roy, do you want them to win the cup in Edmonton, or would you prefer them to win it at home?
I would prefer them to win at home, so I have to go to Edmonton.
No, but Roy,
I know.
can we talk about
That's
your
why I
plans?
asked, yeah.
If the Panthers win tonight, Roy's hopping on a bird and will be in Edmonton for Game 4.
Wow.
If they lose tonight and they can't clinch in Game 4, he's staying and we'll go to Game 6 if that's a thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. And I'm looking at flights right now, and they are ranging between 1,800 and 3,500.
Good thing Dan's paying for it. I mean, you're good.
Yeah.
So you're rooting for the Panthers to lose tonight, essentially.
After 30 years of watching this team
I'm sorry.
and back-to-back Stanley Cup finals,
Right.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but yes, I'm
No,
rooting
see,
for them
Roy,
to
you
lose.
stop it right there. As much as I would love, in theory, a split, you get a chance to win it on your home ice in Game 5, that's terrifying, okay? We got to win every game.
Right.
If it ends up with a split, fine. But we need to be rooting for a win in Game 4.
If they go up 3-0 and Roy goes all the way to Edmonton and they lose that game,
That'd be the
4,
best.
That is worst case scenario, man.
But the
Because
scenario we're all rooting for.
no, you're rooting for this, but I can't go back for Game 6. That's not in the budget. Burn the boats.
I would save it for Game 6. I would save your
That's what
trip
I'm
for
doing.
Game 6.
There's no guarantee that there's going to be a Game
You
6.
don't have to be there.
I do have to be there. I'm going to end up on the ice with these people winning the Stanley Cup. I have to be there for that. What do you mean?
You just want to be there for that.
No, I'm actually doing work. This is actually for content.
If the cup is in the building, Roy has to be there. I'm sorry. If the cup is in the building, Roy Bellamy is in the building. But Roy, be careful. I've been tracking the flights in and out of Fort Lauderdale
Crazy.
and Miami International
Yes.
airports. The delays right now are beginning to mount. Inbound aircrafts delayed an average of 3 hours and 48 minutes at the moment. And your inbound aircraft delay may cause outbound aircraft delays. So be careful and be vigilant, Roy. Do not spend $800 on a non-refundable ticket unless Dan Le Batard is the one refunding you.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even if I show up late in the third period and the cup's already on the ice, I'm going to be there.
This is the most confident version of Roy Bellamy I've seen in 20 years of knowing Roy. Are you confident headed into tonight?
Let's get that cup, Roy.
Come on, Roy. Tell us.
Yeah.
Oh, every time he says, yeah, they win.
That's right. It's time for Thursday Thunder. We got to do it quick because we got to get to Adnan and Samson. Thursday Thunder is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned.
And also, we got to do it quick because the gambling giant is breathing on our neck, making us come in here and do this segment
That's
in
right.
the rain.
And learn about everything that DraftKings has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Tony, Thursday Thunder, quick.
Juju, as always, putting together very carefully crafted the artesian single game parlayster. We've got Connor McDavid over 3.5 shots on goal tonight for the Oilers. We've got Matthew Tkachuk over 2.5 shots on goal tonight for your Florida Panthers. And we've got the Mercury Kalea Copper over 21.5 points. That is your Thursday Thunder. That was real Thunder, actually. That wasn't even the bet.
Yeah, we've got a problem here. Stugotz has left. He's fled because we have to get out of here. It is actually dangerous here with all of the flooding and the flash flooding and the state of emergency in Florida. But the gambling giant has told us that we have to do that Thursday Thunder. And so both Tony and Roy are telling you that there are going to be shots in this game because Tkachuk hasn't been a factor here in this series in a way that's any kind of special yet.
That's right, Dan. It is clutch time. Expect to see some shots from Matthew Tkachuk in this one.
Well, for sure, expect to see them from McDavid.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Over
He might
3.5.
get 6. Yeah, he might get 6 tonight.
I mean, if it's under 3.5 for him, what a pathetic way for their season to go out just strangled to death by the Panthers.
yeah, just a whimper. Oh, boy, I can't wait to see that cup on that ice.
You better settle down. We just got to get home safe first. And it would be perfect, though, that upon winning the cup, South Florida, all of it is underwater. Just
Priorities.
completely,
Yeah.
totally underwater in celebration of the Ice Cats. We have water everywhere. Adnan and David Samson are with us now to do their movie segment. Top 5 movies of all time that have great food scenes in them, or I guess top 5 food scenes in the movies is the way to say that, if you're not scared of the typhoons outside and need to get out of here because you're afraid of a storm making Metal Arc wash away.
I don't want to spoil their list, but if the food fight scene in Hook isn't in this,
100%.
I am going to fight
hold
somebody.
on a second.
Wow.
I mean, hold on a second. Aggressive, and Adnan is changing his list because it's always he's always interested in making his list more popular.
No, I simply was jotting down, Dan, that may be an omission, but I said, okay, that might get the mind flowing in a different direction. But I don't want to piss off Cody, but he's not going to be happy with that list if that's what he's insisting upon.
I have an omission as well that I just thought of, and I'm despondent. The food fight in Animal House is not on my list.
All right. So again, though, Animal House is a 1978 movie. This segment is struggling to stay somewhere in the 2000s. Go ahead. And whose list are we going to first, Samson or Adnan's? How do you want to do this?
David will go ahead.
Number 5. It is a movie from the 70s, but it's a line you all use from 5 Easy Pieces. When Jack Nicholson wants toast, the waitress says there is no toast, so he orders a chicken salad sandwich. Hold the lettuce, hold the butter, hold the chicken, and he gets served his toast. I use that every day, much to the chagrin of my fellow diners.
That's a great movie and a great scene. Early Jack Nicholson, pre-Cuckoo's Nest. I love that movie. I'd love to crush Samson, but Dan, that's a great pick and a hell of a scene.
Okay, but he said all of us use this, and none of us do. None of us still use this phrase.
I don't think anyone
do.
gets that reference. When Samson does that in a restaurant, no one understands. Oh, that's from 5 Easy Pieces.
Okay.
I just want to get what I want. I don't need it. I don't need anyone to know what movie it's from, but don't tell me you don't have toast, or don't tell me you don't have an item that I know every kitchen has.
True.
And it's part of a different item on the menu, but people are so stuffy that they won't do it. So I'll say, give me that item and I'm happy to pay for it, but take all of it off. And I end up getting what I want.
Number 4.
LA Story. For those of you who love Los Angeles, which I know Metal Arc does, there's a movie that you have to see with Steve Martin about Los Angeles. And there's a scene where I picture Le Batard at lunch with all of his highfalutin climate change friends. And they're sitting around ordering coffee. And Le Batard is sitting there with his fantastic, beautiful wife, who I adore, Valerie, saying, I'll have coffee. I'll have coffee with a twist, lemon with a twist, another twist. It is a perfect LA movie. If you're going to move to LA or you love LA, Randy Newman, watch LA Story.
All the half calf, double decaf with a twist of lemon. All the twist of lemon. All the twist of lemon.
I'll have a twist of lemon.
Also, the first scene with a hot dog is fantastic. There's more than one great food scene in LA Story. I love that movie.
You guys are agreeing too much. Number 3.
I hesitate to put this on my list, but Goodfellas is number 3 when
Yes.
Paul Sorvino, I hate doing this for Adnan, but when Paul Sorvino is cooking and chopping up food in a prison cell, I remember my visceral reaction to it as anger, because I didn't want anyone to think that being in prison was in any way good at all, but he was allowed to cook a meal. It's a great scene.
Hey, Vinny, don't use too many onions. By the way, Vinny is Scorsese's dad in that movie. So great.
You guys sound like real pals here, like soulmates, like stepbrothers. Number 2.
The rain is
world
bringing us
is
together.
ending, Dan.
Yeah.
When you're seeking a friend for the end of the world, you can end up with Adnan.
All right. Number 2.
That's a movie reference, Le Batard. You totally missed it. Number 2, Pulp Fiction. Several choices in this movie. You could go with the $5 shake, which was one of the great scenes that we talked about last week, or you could go with the famous Royale with cheese when he's eating the burger, and it's the Big Kahuna burger.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's in my head, and that is a great scene. Number 2.
Can't quibble with Pulp Fiction. What's number 1?
Number 1 is the scene that everybody, maybe nobody in the room knows, but hi, my name is David, born in 1968, and I'll wear it. 9.5 weeks is the movie, with Mickey Rourke pre-plastic surgery, with Kim Basinger pre-Alec Baldwin, and you want the sexiest scene that's not found on Channel J with Robin Bird, you go to 9.5 weeks, and you see strawberries in a way that will make you realize whether you are who you are.
All right. It's pornographic, and it's also it's pornographic from 50 years ago. from 50 goddamn years ago.
Weather's getting bad. We got to speed this segment up.
Yeah, I know. Yes, it's leaking in here. There's water coming into the studio. I can feel it. We do have to get out of here, but we had to stop momentarily to do a segment about movies from 50 years ago. Sex scenes from 50 years ago. A teenage David aroused for the first time watching 9.5 Weeks and the idea that people can have sex with food.
Now we know when he first got a boner, Dan.
It's unbelievable. That's what we had to come in here for today. Adnan, what's your top 5? You agreed way too much. Number 5.
Okay, number 5, we're going to go a little bit older. Lady and the Tramp eating spaghetti together. I mean, that is an unbelievable scene. How about an animated movie bringing together all of us? Who has not
fired?
No, who hasn't had a plate of spaghetti and tried to mimic that scene? All right.
Number 4.
4, The Great Outdoors. Tony, you want a comedy? How about John Candy, the old 96er? Whenever I think of someone getting meat sweats, I think of John Candy in The Great Outdoors. That's a great movie, LeBatard. Number 4
Roy
is
really happy about that.
Oh, that's great.
Number 3.
Number 3, Old Boy. A little more reference, a little more contemporary here. This guy gets fed dumplings for 15 years and eats a live octopus. It's an incredible scene. Jarring, brilliant. Old Boy, number 3.
Number 2.
You're going to be pissed, Dan, with the ageist, but I got to be honest. Cool Hand Luke. Paul Newman eating 50 eggs in an hour? That is an unbelievable scene. I don't give a damn what year it came out from. Paul Newman, 50 eggs in an hour. Awesome.
That is pretty good. Number 1.
If you're going to do an egg, Adnan, I thought you'd do Rocky eating raw eggs.
Yeah, that's also a good option. Number 1, it's the greatest food movie ever. Stanley Tucci, Tony Shalhoub, Big Night. The scene where they're making the timpano and they bring it out and Ian Holm eats it. He goes, I could kill you. I could kill you. That's how good the food is. Big Night, a mouth-watering feast for the senses.
Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop, the shrimp salad sandwich, the banana in the tailpipe, the buffet at the Harold's Club.
At the Harold Club, that's right.
And they had a coffee with a lemon twist. A lemon twist, which is what you mentioned.
All the twist of lemon.
Oh, my
That's
God.
a great call, Roy. It looks like your head's not in Edmonton after all. That was great.
Roy hates that you guys excluded that. Thank you, David. Thank you, Adnan.
Getting bad in here.
Yeah, we got to get out of here. I will remind the audience, Nothing Personal is what you should check out if you want some great stuff inside and outside of sports business. Also, he's got the sporting class coming out tomorrow with John Skipper and Pablo Torre and Adnan Virk, cinephile. You want to find that you learn more about movies, that's the place to do it. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your time, as always. We do have to get out of here because it's
Bring in the grounds crew.
Yeah, it's getting bad in here. It is too bad that today we couldn't have time to discuss what a great night it was in Boston sports. It's unfortunate that the show
Luca.
ends this
I can't
way.
believe it.
I would have loved to celebrate Tom Brady in the Hall of Fame and one of the great nights in Boston sports history, but unfortunately we have too much rain here and we are out of time and I got to get home because it is genuinely flooding around here. I'm sorry, America.